The retirement of the OV-10 Bronco marks the end of one of the longest-serving aircraft in the armed forces of the Philippines. But its departure carries far deeper consequences than a symbolic change in inventory. It represents a decisive turning point in the country's strategic posture as Manila accelerates its shift from decades of counter-insurgency operations toward a maritime defense model built around deterrence in the West Philippine Sea. The absence of the Bronco creates an operational vacuum that the Philippines must fill quickly, because pressure from China in the Second Thomas Shoal and the broader region is growing faster than Manila's modernization programs can adapt. The OV-10 Bronco earned a reputation as one of the most flexible light attack aircraft ever built, and its service in the Philippine Air Force reflected that versatility. For decades, it supported ground troops during counterinsurgency campaigns in Mindanao, operated in demanding low-altitude environments, and provided a combination of close air support, reconnaissance, and limited strike capability at a cost far lower than any jet platform. During battles such as the Marawi Siege, its ability to fly slow, loiter for extended periods, and deliver munitions with reasonable accuracy made it invaluable. Yet these qualities, once strengths, became limitations as the Philippines confronted a fundamentally different type of security challenge. The evolving environment in the West Philippine Sea exposed the Bronco's technological and survivability gaps. Its airframe dates back over half a century, making maintenance increasingly difficult and raising the risk of accidents. It lacks modern defensive systems, cannot integrate next-generation targeting pods effectively, and is too vulnerable to even basic surface-to-air threats. As China expands its presence through Coast Guard ships, maritime militia, surveillance drones, and electronic warfare systems, the operational demands on Philippine airpower now favor platforms with higher survivability, longer range, and advanced sensors. The Bronco, designed for the conflicts of the 20th century, is simply not built for this environment. However, retiring the Bronco has created an immediate challenge. The Philippines no longer has a low-cost platform capable of performing slow-speed surveillance and close air support for internal security operations. While the overall strategic focus is shifting toward maritime deterrence, internal missions remain relevant, and the gap left by the Bronco places additional pressure on other air assets that were not designed to assume its former role. This gap is particularly visible in three critical areas: low-altitude intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, close air support for troops in remote regions, and rapid response coverage in coastal areas where Chinese activities increasingly test Manila's resolve. The aircraft most frequently cited as a partial successor is the FA-50PH, and the future FA-50 Block 20 variant will further enhance the Philippines' air power. But the FA-50 is a jet trainer and light fighter, rather than a dedicated close air support aircraft. Its operating speed, altitude profile, and cost per flight hour make it unsuitable for the slow, persistent missions the Bronco once performed. The FA-50 excels in air policing and precision strike missions, but it cannot replace the Bronco's niche. The A-29 Super Tucano is a more logical successor for close air support and counterinsurgency operations. The Philippines has already acquired 6 aircraft, demonstrating an intent to emulate the Bronco's role with a modern turboprop platform. The A-29 offers better precision, modern avionics, and more efficient fuel consumption. Nevertheless, the current fleet size is too small to cover the Philippines' large archipelagic terrain, and the absence of advanced sensors limits its usefulness for maritime awareness. The Philippines will need more airframes, upgraded targeting pods, and possibly additional weapons integration if the A-29 is to fully compensate for the Bronco's retirement. Unmanned systems represent another key pillar of the transition. Platforms such as the Hermes 900 and Scan Eagle provide valuable intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance coverage at sea, while discussions involving the MQ-9B Sea Guardian signal Manila's desire for high-end unmanned surveillance over the West Philippine Sea. Yet this transition is still in an early stage. The Philippines must develop a more robust command and control infrastructure, train additional operators, and secure sustainable funding to maintain a modern drone fleet. Unmanned systems can supplement, but not yet replace, the manned close air support mission that the Bronco fulfilled for so long. Rotary wing attack and utility helicopters provide another option, and platforms like the AW-109 and T-129 ATAC are capable of close support in certain scenarios. But helicopters lack the endurance and range necessary for operations across the archipelago or in the maritime environment, and they are more vulnerable to ground fire. They are useful tools, but incomplete solutions for the strategic challenges now facing the Philippines. As the Philippines attempts to fill the capability gap, the broader context of China's rise casts a shadow over every procurement decision. Beijing's strategy in the West Philippine Sea involves sustained presence, forward pressure, and incremental escalation through Coast Guard patrols, gray zone operations, and unmanned surveillance assets. The loss of the Bronco's low cost, flexible coverage means Manila is more dependent on radars, drones, and allied intelligence for situational awareness. This increases the urgency behind modernization programs under Horizon 3, where the focus is shifting toward anti-access and area denial systems, long-range sensors, coastal missile batteries, and interoperable airpower that can operate effectively alongside partners such as the United States and Japan. The retirement of the Bronco also highlights the importance of training. Pilots who learned close air support tactics in slow, stable aircraft now transition directly to jets or complex unmanned systems. Without a dedicated platform for teaching low-speed tactics and target acquisition, the Philippine Air Force risks losing institutional experience that once made it effective in close support missions. Developing a training pipeline that bridges manned and unmanned aviation will be essential. Ultimately, the departure of the OV-10 Bronco underscores the speed at which the Philippines must modernize. The aircraft served reliably in a security environment dominated by internal conflicts, but the geopolitical landscape has shifted dramatically. Chinese pressure in the West Philippine Sea will continue to intensify, and the Philippines cannot afford extended gaps in its surveillance and close support capabilities. While the country is pursuing modern fighters, drones, and coastal defense systems, the transition period is a vulnerable moment that adversaries will seek to exploit. The end of the Bronco's service is not simply the retirement of an aging aircraft. It is a reminder that the Philippines is racing against time to redefine its air power structure for a new era of maritime competition. The country is on the right path, but the pace of modernization must accelerate if Manila intends to defend its territorial rights, maintain credible deterrence, use ailawe imitrainkinse, and ensure that the next generation of air assets can truly meet the demands of a rapidly changing strategic environment.